Hi guys, and welcome to a new Phaseshift devlog. This is devlog number 2. We'll talk about what I've done since the last devlog, obviously, and then I'm going to talk about what I plan on doing for this next version. So this version, I focused primarily on cinematic cameras. I'm a big fan of Formula 1 and I want to kind of put that look across in spectator mode or whenever the player finishes a game. It then snaps to the cinematic cameras when you're viewing the results screens. So that was really good, but I did notice when watching the AI pilots driving around that there's a few problems, a few bugs, a few weird handling issues that they had. So it's actually really useful to actually use the debugging tool. So yeah, the first one was the suspension. So the suspension actually works, but it visually wasn't updating. This was from a refactor I did on the AI code a while back. I just kind of missed out, which is a bit of a silly thing to do. The next one was quite a big one. This was to do with downforce. So this was some code I added right at the start when I first made them, which is probably about 2 years ago now. But what would happen, the AI, when they collided with something, they would do a wheelie, which is not fun because if they're doing a wheelie, it means they can't turn. So I'd have all these AI characters just kind of crashing into the walls whenever they collided with something or I found a bump in the road. So there's a really primitive, really rubbish way of fixing it. Whenever the front wheel was off ground, I'd add a load. I'd have force down 150,000 units, which meant it was planted. It did do its job, but when under braking or turning, there was some really weird handling. It wasn't very stable. It would do stoppies all the time, and so I kind of started creating tracks that kind of helped sort of fast flowing corners as opposed to sort of hairpins. So I fixed that now. The downforce model is a bit more representative of what we'd find in real life, and AI can do like things like jumps now, which is really cool. I've also changed the mass of I've kind of just rehauled the AI physics totally. So the bikes now resemble the player bikes. The mass is the same, the downforce is the same. So the acceleration and torque settings will be very similar. So the performance should be, depending on difficulty, will be similar to the players. So the minor tweaks, I've added a new AI character. I've added loads more assets to the canyon level. That was kind of my main focus as well, actually. So the canyon's looking a bit more sort of finished now, looking a bit closer to what it will be eventually. I've improved the explosion particle effects of various weapons, added menu UI helpers. I've also got a team leaderboard now as well, so that stat tracks race points from a team, and you can kind of see the trends of each team. Also had some community suggestions as well, or one community suggestion. He mentioned the fact that when you collided against silly environments, sometimes you would stop dead, depending on the angle of where you collided. And yeah, of course, you want to kind of keep going fast to kind of keep up pace. So what I've done, I've fixed that by using a friction modifier. So you don't necessarily use speed when you collide with certain walls and things. I just keep the flow up, and obviously gives the benefit to the people running behind. So yeah, there's lots of different other tweaks that I've done as well. There is a changelog as a Steam announcement on the Steam page. There's also one on the website as well, if you're interested in the full log. For next version, I'm going to be doing some online multiplayer. I'm really excited to get this started. It's something that I've never done before, so it'll be quite interesting to get started on that. I've actually, as a trade, I'm a web developer, so network stuff should be okay. So I'm quite excited to see if I can play with some of my mates and housemates and see what they think. But yeah, I hope that kind of shows all the things that I've done. Hope it was informative, hope it was useful, and I will catch you in the next devlog. Take it easy.